Hey everybody, I'm Dan. I've been on vacation this past week, so unfortunately I haven't had a lot of time to really dive into a new editing project. But instead, I decided what I want to do is dive into the cool things that I think are happening this September in pop culture, sort of the mark your calendars nerdy edition. All the highlights that I'm looking forward to that are things that I might cover on this channel as the month goes on, or just things that I want to highlight as being really cool this month in pop culture. So here are my favorite things this September. First on the list arrives today an all-new Nintendo Direct, September 6th, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I am really excited for whenever Nintendo wants to release new information about its Switch games, 3DS games. I'm hoping that we get lots of surprises about fun new games coming out by the end of the year. I want to see more stuff about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, though I'm wondering how much we'll get about that, or if they'll save it for another Smash Direct. I also can't wait to hear more about Mario Party, potentially new stuff about the new Fire Emblem. And so that's the first thing up, is today's fun video game awesomeness. Friday, September 7th brings us a whole bunch of awesome new things. Most importantly is Spider-Man on PS4, a game I've been waiting for ages. I can't believe it's finally here. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, heard awesome things about this game. This is gonna be one of those games that gets me to actually get off my butt and play a video game, because so often I'm like, oh, I wanna play that, don't get around to it, but I need to hear the story, I need to swing around the city. It's been so long since I've been Spider-Man in a great video game, and I can't wait to get those throwbacks to the Spider-Man 2 days. Additionally, we have Iron Fist coming out, season 2 of Iron Fist on Netflix. Not a necessarily awesome product, but something that I have a bit of a guilty pleasure for. I know season 1 was kind of bumpy, but I really did enjoy it for whatever reason, and I've been hearing season 2 is making up for a lot of the mistakes from the early reviews of critics and stuff, so I'm willing to give it another chance and, you know, just have some fun with it. As a side awesome that day, we have Sierra Burgess is a Loser. This is a new Netflix movie starring Barb from Stranger Things. It's a modern-day Cyrano story where the main character is sort of overweight and unpopular, and she uses sort of the guise of an attractive, popular girl to sort of romance and connect with her crush. I'm bringing it up here because it seems like an interesting contrast to Insatiable, which came out on Netflix a few weeks back. I did a video about that and some of the potential issues with that property. Now I'm planning on potentially doing a video about Sierra Burgess is a Loser to see if Netflix handled this version of the sort of teenage overweight female character coming of age story a little bit better this time. So I'm interested to see what you guys think of that and if that ends up being a solid teen movie. Wednesday, September 12th is a big day for Apple fanboys like me. It's a big Apple Keynote event. I am over here with an iPhone 6s. It is time for me to upgrade. I am excited to hear about the new iPhones they'll be revealing this year. There's already been some interesting rumors out there about the new iPhone XS, or XS, 10s, whatever you want to call it. I love keynotes in general of big products like this, seeing what they have to throw out there this year. New Apple Watches and all that stuff too. So as an Apple fanboy that I am, I definitely am gonna tune into that one. That brings us to Friday, September 14th, which is another huge day for Netflix. We have 3 major series hitting the platform, starting off with American Vandal Season 2. American Vandal is the sleeper hit of Netflix. I would say it's one of their best series. If you haven't seen Season 1, immediately go check it out. It's a great mockumentary series that sort of takes aim at stuff like Making a Murderer and all the stuff that basically has made Netflix famous with these true crime stories. It puts a comedic spin on it while still remaining serious and awesome ways, and it has like depth to it beyond the silly comedy. I've heard good things about season 2. It's a bit of a wackier premise, but if you haven't checked out that trailer, I highly recommend it, and I can't wait for season 2. Definitely want to do some content about that one. Additionally, we also have The Dragon Prince coming out, which is an animated series from some of the writers from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It has an interesting animation style. It looks a lot like Avatar Avatar. It has the feel, and I thought the trailer was exciting, and I have an Avatar-shaped hole in my heart, and I hope this can fill it, so I'm definitely checking that out day one, and I hope that it can live up to the hype and the expectations of that series, because Voltron, unfortunately, didn't really do it for me. Additionally, I just want to throw out that BoJack is having its new season premiere that day. Personally, I am behind on the show. I want to catch up still, but it's such a big deal, I had to throw that in there for especially my girlfriend Olga. Then we get over to Monday, September 17th, is the Emmys, something that kind of snuck up on me, but I'm excited to see who wins and who loses this year. There were some more unorthodox picks than usual, and it's just always fun to see the clips and to see who won, and as a big TV fanatic, the Emmys are always a bit of an event for me. That brings us back to Netflix September 21st for Maniac, their limited series with Jonah Hill and Emma Stone. It's a stylized dark comedy miniseries with an interesting premise as it follows two strangers that are drawn to a mysterious pharmaceutical trial. They are assured they will have no complications or side effects whatsoever, but it will solve all their problems permanently. Things don't really go as planned though. Emma Stone is enough to sell me on any series, at least giving it a shot. Plus it's a limited series, what do you have to lose? Tuesday, September 25th, we have The Gifted Season 2 premiering. There have been a lot of superhero shows, a lot of Marvel shows out in the past few years, and it's hard to sort of figure out what's worth checking out, what isn't. It's hard not to get some fatigue. I personally have fallen off a lot of superhero shows, which as a big superhero fan I think is crazy. But The Gifted was a real gem last year, and I can't wait to see more of it. I think the way they tackled the X-Men stories felt very fresh. It's not like the A-list members, but they have some great actors, they have some great people with great powers. The special effects are very impressive for a TV show. They were able to handle the sort of allegories of X-Men and discrimination and, you know, all that stuff really well. Highly recommend the show, and I can't wait for season 2. Finally, I'm ending off with a bit of a TBA for September, and that is the Nintendo Online service going live. They've gone into some detail, but what this entails, the biggest selling point for I think for a lot of people are that it will let you have cloud saves. This means that if you lose your Switch or you break your Switch, your save files will still be up there in the cloud. There's lots of other features, but I think the biggest one for me is the fact that we will have access to a bunch of NES games that will be online compatible. I have been wanting to get an NES Classic for a long time, but as soon as I heard about these coming to the Switch, I was like, you know what, I can wait for some NES fun. I'm hoping we get a lot more information about this service in the Nintendo Direct today, but I am cautiously optimistic. It's only $20 for a year, so I think it's worth it. I also want to throw out a little bit of self-promotion. I have a number of video ideas coming up for the rest of the month. I did a video with Keith a little while back where we were sort of comparing and contrasting our cameras. He has a Nikon, I have a Canon. We were looking at like what works, what are the best features of both, what should you buy if you're a sort of beginning videographer or YouTuber. So that's one video coming down the pike. Keith, Caitlin, and I are considering doing a coming of age podcast. We want to cover everything from Life is Strange to 8th grade, talk about all sorts of cool coming of age stories. If any of this sounds exciting to you, if you want to talk about anything else that you thought was awesome in September, I know I skipped over a lot of big things for people. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Valkyria Chronicles 4, you know, if there were any big movies or music that you guys want to talk about, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.